to go for last pick here in game number 5. Throughout this series, it seems like the teams have been focusing more on going for first pick instead. So what this tells me is I better not see something stupid on R5 that you could have picked at any point in the draft. This has got to be some sort of creativity for LYON, and you can see that creativity being protected against right now. Team Liquid respecting the potential Vayne counter pick top, also banning the Akali away from Saint. The Lulu continues to be banned, Seraphine, Varus, and Nocturne banned out by LYON.
Yeah, removing the Nocturne. I think that tells me that, once again, they're going to be relying on this strategy, especially with so many power picks having been removed, of Dhokla, either Dhokla or Saint, but I'm pointing to Dhokla since it was such a huge part of their lock-in strategy, locking in some sort of counter to Morgan or using flex picks in their draft to shift into whatever they pick on R5.
And with so many champions gone, I'm not surprised that the bans stayed fairly similar, since those are all the champions that you'd see early on in Fearless. Now you're starting to get more stretched, and there's different strategies into Game 5 Fearless. One of the strategies would be, let's just pick something that looks as little like a Fearless Game 5 draft as possible. So which champions that are played normally still exist? One of them would be the Annie. So it's rare to see a first pick Annie, but it's not rare to see an Annie in the game. So QUID will have his Snap Engage champion locked in.
And you even saw when it was locked in that it's been played 18 times so far this split, which is quite a few, and it has a 12-6 record. So very successful so far here in spring. Over on the other side, one of those few powerful laning supports that's still left, we've got the Bard locked in first for Isles.
Yeah, and Annie just fits into such a variety of team compositions too, which is why I think you see her so frequently. The Trundle coming out, presumably for Inspired, but yeah, I think that's a huge pick for him, actually.
It's a really early Trundle. He's basically making a bet that Jose doesn't have any mobile assassin champions that he's willing to play around it. So like if this was Yike on the other side, he'd lock in Kha'Zix right away, but Naafiri would be the pick, or Lee Sin would be the pick, and those are obviously already gone from Fearless.
Yeah, Trundle is really good against two classes of champions. He's really good against tanks, obviously, because he eats their stats, and he's really good against other bruisers who have their power budget in mobility, because he'll just stand there and stat check them. So the answer that we're going to see picked here by Team Liquid, we have the Rek'Sai locked in.
Yeah, Rek'Sai is super interesting.
Could be Rek'Sai jungle or top.
Yeah, it's a flex pick. We'll see where it ends up going based on what else they get. I already mentioned the Bard being one of the strong laners that's still remaining on LYON's side. You saw the Nico hovered there by TL. We'll see if they want to lock that in or not. No, instead, they are going to go for the Jax. And the thing is, this is still, one could go top, one could go jungle. This could kind of work either way.
Yeah, it could work either way. I'm still going to assume that the Jax is going top, only because it has been kind of a default to comfort that Morgan has used in prior drafts. However, Rek'Sai going jungle, I'm not sure how this matchup is going to end up going into the Trundle, as we see the Taliyah locked in, who is another kind of power pick that we had seen rise in priority on more recent patches, and she does give you so much priority over side lanes because of her ability to get towards them. She doesn't have like a super big combo that you would think of in terms of like a Vi. However, I do think with their ability to kind of morph terrain, the Trundle Taliyah pairing can be really difficult to deal with.
Yeah, I do like what LYON has pulled together so far. It has to be the jungle Rek'Sai for Jose on the most recent patch. It has been played jungle on 2510, way more than top lane, even if the patch before that it was a pure flex pick. So Jose will be looking to make some early plays once again on this, as I believe LYON and Inspired will still be looking to be a little bit more passive.
We do have the Nico banned out now. This is what I was thinking when Team Liquid was hovering it on pick number 3, is if you don't lock it right there, it's a pretty easy ban for LYON to take. Make sure CoreJJ can't have that, as K'Sante is banned out by TL.
Yeah, kind of an easy default pick that Dhokla, has kind of gone to as something that he can kind of soak up pressure in lane and then contribute later in team fights. So I like that ban coming out.
Oh, Nivea's already gone. That was gone from game 1 in the mid lane. I was like, Dhokla hasn't played a Nivea yet, but Saint has.
That would be funny if we got Taliyah wall, Trundle pillar, and a Nivea wall all together.
If you put them close enough the champion gets squished and instantly dies.
Yeah, you can just smush the guy, and it's like you can't get away unless you flash.
They're getting snowed on currently. They're getting flicked back by rocks. Yeah.
Ziggs ban away coming out here from the Lion side. They do not want Yeon playing that, just perma-clearing bot lane waves, as Garen is the final ban from Team Liquid. So banning out both the Vayne and the Garen, these Dhokla picks that they're really wanting to respect, especially considering Lion has 5th pick in the entire draft. Or 10th pick in the entire draft, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think, where's
the Lowy hover?
What's Dhokla going to cook with here? How many notes does Rigby have on those pages for different top lane picks? And it might just actually be Poppy top, which is a pretty standard pick and good into both Rek'Sai and Jax, to be honest.
Yeah. I respect it.
Yeah, I like, and, you know, Poppy just, again, works so well with this kind of setup from a Trundle and a Taliyah additionally, right? This is very, like, the 4 champions right now on the screen for Lion are just super obnoxious to deal with. As we see a Zeri hovered, Yeon kind of being the original Zeri adopter. Obviously, both of these AD carries are actually known for kind of popping off on that pick. The Sona lock-in.
First Sona of the split here in the LCS.
Wow.
Yeah, we did see it from FlyQuest, I believe, last split in lock-in. As we hover over which carry
is Yeon going to go for?
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys, the way you're talking about how annoying the Lion comp is so far, Bard hits anybody with Tempered Fate, any of the terrain creators then just plant the terrain next to the golden target, and then Poppy slams them into it. So that's definitely got so much pick potential, and this will be the 2nd Aphelios so far in Spring Split. So a rare bottom lane here for TL.
The last one was Masu with the Lulu, and he was just dying the whole game. But luckily there was a Nasus on the other side to carry it. A couple of laughs coming out from Berserker of what he's going to be able to go against this with. Could be a couple of hyper carries left alone to get assassinated if he decides to go for this matchup, because they're picking them without like true Enchantress support. So it's a dangerous game to play.
Okay, it'll be Jinx locked in for Berserker and Lion here in game number 5. Do or die here for either one of these teams. Winner goes on to play Cloud9 in that upper bracket. Loser, of course, has to head down to the lower bracket to continue to fight for their lives here in the playoffs.
And the winner will clinch their spot into top 3, which means they'll be going to the Mullet Arena in Arizona for the Spring Finals weekend. So a lot on the line, even if it's not a full elimination. Gotta make sure Yeon cleans those glasses to get in for this next game.
Yeah, he's already got the haircut.
Cleaning
now
your
we're gonna have the clean
glasses
glasses.
is very important. You know when they put makeup on you and then your eyebrows have like makeup in them and then they get all over your glasses? No, this is not a problem for anyone else. Okay, it happens
I've never
to me all
had
the time.
glasses. People have told me I might need them, but I've never had them.
Oh, great vision, dude.
No,
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I'm chilling. We're in there. Sometimes.
Do you want to see how terrible my...
I put on other people's glasses before and felt dizzy. There's people with really strong glasses prescriptions are tough. All right, let's lock in. We got ourselves Team Liquid versus Lion, game number 5. The whole series coming down to this one. It was Team Liquid taking the first game by storm. Lion bouncing back with a dominant performance in game 2. Game number 3, an absolute bloodbath that Lion comes out on top. And then game number 4, it's Team Liquid bringing us to this grand finale with the Rek'Sai in the jungle, the Aphelios Sona bot lane, going up against Lion with all their terrain creation and this hyper carry Jinx for Berserker.
And I really just want to see Lion be a little bit more proactive early, because that's when they've been most successful, is when they've been able to force fights.
All right, as we're waiting for our minions to spawn here in Game 5, let's listen in on Inspired, trying to keep up the team's spirits at the end of the last game.
Oh, man.
Oh, close. Shit, this fight was really winnable. But the fight before that was kind of sad that Smolder didn't get shut down.
Monkey shut down. Oh, shit. Yeah, my bad.
Fine, it's gonna be game 5, Bangarang.
Fine, game 5.
That toss could have gone either way.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was a sarcastic toss from the producers or if he was actually being positive, and it looks like they're really just locked in on trying to win this game 5.
I like that, man. Everybody's focused up. This Poppy also going to have a lot of potential against the divers specifically. Yes, Aphelios, Sona, and Annie will not be affected by Steadfast Presence at all, but Jax and Rek'Sai can both get shut down very easily if Dhokla's timings are on point.
And that matchup, if you're really good at it, is very Poppy favored. When you're checking even just based off solo queue stats or some of the big top lane Poppies that have been able to pull it out in pro. So Dhokla, again, you can see the difference in preference, Helm versus Shield. Doesn't have as much regen, is actually taking a lot of poke early.
Yeah, it's the thing that I brought up last game for just a second before a fight broke out, but the new Doran's items still being starter items, but also scaling way better compared to the shield and the blade, which are mostly just for the laning power. And Emily, at the start of the day, back in game number 1, you were doubting yourself, saying maybe I should have called yesterday the match of the week because it went the full 5.
I have grabbed victory from the jaws of defeat, my own jaws.
You have done it. Hell of a job, Emily. The match of the week is living up to the name.
Yeah, that's something my friend Linda actually likes to say about EDG specifically.
Good job, Linda. You have predicted the future for Emily alongside EDG, as now CoreJJ. He takes a quick burst of damage there as Isles and Berserker go through the magical journey. I love seeing bards be creative with their magical journeys as early as the laning phase like this. Just like cheating up into the river and then showing up through the wall to get those snappy trades when you can. Yeah,
they saw Yeon go back to pick up an early call. Berserker will probably match as both these carries really just want to hit late game as soon as possible. And pretty unlikely that they end up having kill pressure on each other, but it'll depend on where the junglers go. Yeah, call match.
And as Jose marking out that chicken camp, still trying to keep track of where Inspired is going to be.
I don't think I've ever seen the red pool party Rek'Sai before. It looks like a blood monster.
It looks like a lobster. Or it reminds me of a lobster somehow.
Okay. Lobster blood monster?
Lobsters are red.
Lobster monster?
Well, only when they're cooked, though.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah, because when they're out in the ocean, they're like brown, grayish color.
Yeah. Or blue.
Poor fellas.
There was like a blue lobster caught in Cape Cod, I remember once when I was a kid, and everyone was like, whoa, blue lobster, that's so cool.
Whoa, blue lobster.
AKA everyone being me, I thought it was super cool as a kid.
Thank you, observers, for giving us a close-up on lobster Rek'Sai.
He's a cooked lobster walking around.
Tasty, tasty. We'll see if LYON can manage to cook the lobster as the game heads forward. But Isles, again, trying to find these magical journeys for some snappy trades. Chomper's put down right behind Yeon. He knows he can't step back into them, so he has to step forward to try to trade an attack here or there. But it is LYON still coming out on top in these 2v2s.
Really nice spacing by Berserker there. Weaved in 2 autos with the long-range gun before Yeon could get into range.
Do you remember which one's which?
I have the short-range gun, the minigun, and the rocket.
But do you remember their names?
I can check. I'm in the client.
No, you don't need it. That's what I'm saying off the top of your head. Do you remember what they're called?
Pow Pow?
Pow Pow? Which one is it?
That's the minigun.
Yeah.
I don't know the other one.
Fish Bones.
Okay.
Because that's the one that has a fish head on it. That's the one that we have the real life prop of.
I know, I just outed myself as not a Jinx believer.
When we go to road shows, we get to shoot T-shirts out of it into the crowd.
Yeah.
So don't forget, come to Arizona. Maybe we'll have the T-shirt rocket launcher.
Right now, I think it's on the analyst lounge set, just chilling. I've tripped over it like several times.
It's pretty big.
That's not how I broke my hand, by the way.
I hit my ankle into it, and
I
it drew
have
blood.
Tripped over that.
Yeah, that's a very dangerous gun, actually.
I like you guys are talking about how this weapon's super dangerous. Not because of anything it does, but just because you can trip on it really easily.
We don't look where we're going.
Sometimes you're just not looking where you're going.
All right, well, right now, Josedeodo is just going through mid lane here. All the camps have been cleared on his side of the jungle. You can see Inspire just clearing out his wolves now as well. They've both already taken their first recalls. Jose has his tunneler. His basic ball of stats there. Inspired, not quite with a combined cost on that, so still just the crystal and longsword for him. Solo laners hitting level 6s. But we haven't seen anybody make any big moves here with it yet. Particularly Saint is the one that I always want to keep my eye on when you have one of these roaming ultis like with Taliyah. I want to see not just when he uses it, but where he tries to use it. If it's for an objective, maybe a bottom lane gank.
I do also feel like that the Taliyah difference is why, you know, Inspired is going to be able to go up and get this second scuttle as Jose kind of backs off, returns to his own jungle on the bot side of the map.
Okay, a little bit of vision clearing coming out from Isles, roaming around on the Bard, and 6 minutes and change on the clock, and it's Josedeodo going after the first Drake of the game. Ocean Drake, always nice to get while the laning phase is still, well, in its infancy. And it looks like CoreJJ is more than happy to just help him maintain control over this in case Isles wants to walk up and try to mess with him a little bit. It's not really going to amount to a whole lot. QUID also hovering in this direction. There's the Drake for TL.
Yep, Inspired clearing the top side of his jungle, so pretty uncontested for LYON. Berserker also couldn't step up because he wasn't sure if they were on the Drake full time. So nice little play there by Team Liquid, even if Inspired traded it for a little bit of farm.
Yeah, and I mean, Drake stacking, and specifically like a lot of the early Drake stacking, has been really huge in so many of these games. I think both teams having kind of hyper carries and set conditions about how they want to play. It's not like last time where we were like, okay, TL need to get this early Drake stacking in position. It's actually kind of okay for both sides to be chilling a little bit to kind of set up for this eventual Aphelios Jinx matchup in 5v5s. However, really nice for TL to be able to get in and get that Drake stacking started early because it's just been such a huge component of when you fight and how desperate you are to get that objective.
Very, very quiet early game here so far. Game number 3 was just...
It was just like so good for you.
Yeah.
Like you were having the time of your life.
Well, I think it also fried everybody's brain.
Yeah.
It was the entire series worth of aggro in one game.
And then last game was literally like 2 fights.
Yeah.
Last game was just Team Liquid winning every lane, and then we hope that Ornn lands an ult. He doesn't, they lose.
It's like if you're watching a boxing match, in the first round, both guys just come out swinging, slugfest the whole way through. Next round, okay, we're playing it safe. As top side here, it's Morgan keeping the pressure on Dhokla. We were talking about how if you're really good at the Poppy matchup into the Jax, it is Poppy favored, but Morgan doesn't seem to be struggling a whole lot here.
Yeah, and as we see Isles going on for a little bit of a roam down on this bot side, get some vision down, maybe clear up some of these Rek'Sai tunnels, potentially.
Yeah, Dhokla is keeping his farm up pretty well in this one. I feel like LYON will probably start contesting around Drake 2, or if Team Liquid tries to make an aggressive play, because at the moment, neither team is really trying to push the tempo. It's not like Game 1 or Game 4 where Team Liquid was kind of taking everything against LYON, or Game 2 or 3 where they were just contesting everything. Here, they're kind of happy to both play pretty defensively.
Yeah.
Okay, there's your pillar, but not really anything comes of it. Josedeodo just gets away.
I mean, they're not really going to try to make a play onto that. However, Berserker has pushed in this bot wave.
The biggest gold gap in the game is support.
That's funny.
That's how close everything is. The only meaningful gold difference is CoreJJ being up almost 300 gold on Isles.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Sona wants gold.
True.
Of all the supports that you actually shouldn't rage at if they sneak a few CS here and there, Sona's one of them.
Yeah, she's definitely one of the better ones to have a higher economy on, just because the way she can scale into this insane team fight battery later on in the game. So Yeon is going to take this opportunity, crash the wave into the turret. He's got Crescendum, which it's one of the few situations in League of Legends where the distance to the tower actually changes how much damage you can do. You want to stand closer to the thing so that the chakrams come back to you faster, so makes it easier for Yeon to grab some extra damage onto the turret there. Make sure he grabs the first couple of plates. Now back top side, Dhokla with a steadfast presence as Morgan tries to deploy the counter-strike. And it's Morgan with the farm advantage. Couple more available for Dhokla to pick up, but still about a one-wave lead for Morgan.
Yeah, he's had push in the lane for most of it, even though Dhokla's been able to CS pretty well throughout, able to counter back pretty well here as he's building up towards his first major item on the Poppy. And he'll have the better scaling with the Doran's Helm versus the Doran Shield.
Like how he did take that minor pit stop for his tier, just making sure that he's got that stacking early, getting it up towards the full charge state ASAP. You can see he actually does have around the same amount of stacks as CoreJJ does on the Sona. So feeling pretty good about that, considering Sona's a literal piano champ. Or is it a harp or something? I don't know. It's a DJ board on the DJ skin.
It's a string instrument.
Yeah,
so it could be either.
Okay, sure, I'll take that. Just means that I'm technically correct. I'll take it. We do have 45 seconds on the clock until the next Drake spawns. There was only a single grub taken so far in this game. LYON did secure that one for themselves, but then left the other two. The first Drake did, of course, go to Team Liquid, as Isles was the only one around to try to stop it, but Core and Jose were able to easily secure that for themselves. We'll see if TL can get this next one just as easily, or if LYON has something to say about it. We've still yet to see Saint make any plays with the Weaver's Wall.
No, we haven't, but the bot lane has been pretty favored for Team Liquid, so the Sona pick working out very well with Bard not making any plays elsewhere on the map. So this is going to start adding up. Like, before you know it sometimes, in these Aphelios versus Jinx matchups, one carry can just completely take over, and that's kind of what's happening here.
Yeah, and I mean, Yeon has been able to get so much damage and turret plates off of this bot lane pressure that they've been able to create, which is kind of a major contributor to the small gold lead that TL do currently have.
There you got Trinity Force completed for Inspired. This makes this Trundle feel so powerful. Josedeodo going back, he'll complete his Titanic Hydra, but it's only just now done. He would not be able to contest Inspired at all with just components versus Trinity if he wanted to try to do something with this Drake. So that just means that LYON have total control over the area and should be able to grab this objective without much to say from TL, as Isles finds himself in the enemy jungle, takes the blast cone forward to find the Rek'Sai waiting right there, loses half his HP.
Yeah, I don't think he potentially was expecting the Rek'Sai to be there. But yeah, off of also really nice mid lane push from Saint, able to set that up for Inspired and LYON to kind of, if TL were going towards any sort of rapid Drake stacking, which we already talked about, they don't necessarily have to do in this game, but it does stop it and makes the next Drake fight slightly less important because that would have been giving over.
Yeah. It does, and Inspired was able to take that with his Trinity Force being completed first. But if I'm looking at the overall gold in this game, part of it is the fact that Berserker's Call isn't completed yet, but they're making some plays.
Wow, that was fast. Between the damage of the Rek'Sai with that Titanic completed and then the lockup of Sona with the Crescendo, that was just wham bam from CoreJJ and Josedeodo, and they find the first blood pick onto Isles. Team Liquid with a 2,000 gold lead, and they want even more. Big Dokes taking a lot of burst here, stays alive for now as Saint comes in with a Weaver's Wall, but Dhokla is forced to flash out. Yeon tries to hit him with the Moonlight Vigil, but he will not find success. Josedeodo trying to escape. Nice sidestep there on the Super Mega Death Rocket, but Jose is smote down like a jungle minion. Inspired takes the credit on that one, ties this game back up 1-1.
Yeon with the quick pause after that as well. This could be a little bit of an investigation. I imagine he's wondering why his...
Okay.
All right.
Well, there we go. We were able to provide Jatt's inspired impersonation
Jatt.
for Twitch chat.
I clap. You know what? Actually, I've realized, this is going to sound so stupid, but I realized how much I clap now that I cannot clap.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Anyway, like I said,
we're back into the game.
Morgan chewing away through that top side, going to get some more plates onto him.
And here's the,
there's the
silly tunnel.
Offending tunnel, not a bug.
All right, the silly pause has been resolved. The tunnel is not a bug.
This match is awesome, guys.
We've got two Inspireds on the show today.
I love this game. This has been a great cast. You guys are great.
We're having a good time. It's the match. It's Emily Rand's match of the week, ladies and gentlemen.
We got the Rek'Sai, the lobster Rek'Sai with weird tunnels. We got Inspired impressions.
We're in there. I can't wait for when LYON watches this back in their VOD review and they get to this point and he's just like, what the hell's going on? All right,
let's regroup. Let's focus.
All right. Let's mentally reset back.
The expletive
back into the game now. Okay,
right,
so
expletive now.
The big stories here is Team Liquid ahead 1,500 gold as a team. Morgan with the 500 individual gold lead, completing his Trinity Force up there in the top lane, feeling very strong on this Jax. Yeon and CoreJJ also with a combined 1,000 gold advantage between them, given this bot lane hyper carry head-to-head.
And now they're trying to move around the map, but I believe the Sona Aphelios is always going to have good mid-prio onto this Jinx Bard, so Isles needs to start finding some picks, but the funny thing is he's so squishy, if he just runs into Jose again, he kind of gets one shot.
And hey, reminder, we're back in the Riot Games Arena next week. Tickets are on sale for that one. We had a Game 3 bloodbath. We had a Game 5 tunnel pause. We got all sorts of crazy stuff happening here at the LCS, and we'd love to have you come be a part of it. So if your weekend's free, come on down and hang out. It'll be a good time as we continue further and further into the playoffs. as the rocket fishbones clearing out these waves mid lane for LYON, as Team Liquid got to be a little bit careful down here on the bottom side now. Morgan is dealing with a 1v2, now 1v3 potential situation.
Yeah, and I do like this response from LYON, right? They're not going to contest this Herald take on the top side, so they're just going to try to zone Morgan off of this turret and end up taking this bot tier 1 for Saint and Inspired. As Annie should be able to crash this wave into topside tier 1.
It does really feel like they've been able to open up the map, though, post-pause to almost accelerate the gold a little bit, but it's mainly just cleaning up these turrets that were already pretty low. And it's going to be, I think, on Saint to set up Berserker. Because I don't think Berserker can straight up carry these fights, but if he can start resetting, there's not that many tanks on Team Liquid that can really deal with him. So it's about finding that first target, getting the Trundle ult onto him to begin the Jinx reset, and even if Lion's a little bit behind, I think that's going to be their win condition. I
mean, even talking about tanks, Team Liquid doesn't really have a true tank. They've got two tanky frontline bruisers, but it's not like you're working with an Ornn or a Sejuani or a Sion or anything that's just designed to stand there and get shot and not die. Both of these guys have to provide threat. And whichever one Inspired decides to use the Subjugate, use the Chomp on, you're losing a lot of stats on that Bruiser.
Yeah, and if you time it properly on top of the Jack's ultimate, you steal even more. So it's going to be not only making Morgan squishy, but it makes Inspired extra tanky.
Reaver's Wall flying into the mid lane here as Saint wants to make sure they don't take excessive damage onto that tier 1, as it is Team Liquid going after Dragon number 3. LYON is around the area, and this is an Earth Drake, so they die pretty slowly.
Good Bard ult in.
Yeah,
remember though, there's no wall. It was already used to bring Saint closer towards this fight. TP's about to arrive from both sides. Dragon smited down. LYON's going to go ahead and take the prize there. Isle's about to get locked up here with a counter-strike. Morgan takes him low, but can't take him out. So LYON decides to bring everybody down to the party, but everybody's already left by the time they get there. The Dragon is secured by TL.
Yeah, kind of the worst of both worlds there for LYON. They lose the pressure and they don't take the Dragon. That's not a very LYON-esque play. Usually if they're going to lose the Dragon, they're at least trading up elsewhere. But to bring people and then have to back away just gives a lot of pressure over to Team Liquid.
Yeah, and I think it started with the fact that that wall was used to kind of wall off damage from going on to that mid-tier 1, as opposed to saving it to potentially separate the team fight out going into contest the Drake, which kind of turned it almost into more of a soft than hard contest, despite the fact that they brought everyone. And now we see Taliyah has to kind of respond to that top side push, and once again, Aphelios and Sona are just kind of hanging out in this mid lane, keeping up some mid cryo here.
Nice job by CoreJJ, not getting caught at all early on in this game, keeping good wave pressure, and still finding windows to go and get deep wards.
CoreJJ has his Echoes of Helia completed. He's got 360 stacks on the tier, so once he has enough money to evolve that into Diadem of Songs, you'll have the super healing battery combo of items that can be super obnoxious to deal with. Trying to poke at these guys, hitting them with zaps or Taliyah rocks before an objective showdown just won't really have a whole lot of effectiveness.
Yeah, and if TL are able to set up fights in their favor, that Sona could be the difference in talking about how they don't necessarily have a true front line, but if the Sona is kind of continuously buffing and healing this Jax and this Rek'Sai, they're going to survive for a lot longer.
Still only that 1,000 gold lead for Team Liquid. So LYON has done a good job of not allowing what was, like you checked in after the fight before Josedeodo got shut down, Jatt, over a 2,000 gold lead for TL at that one brief point, but has not evolved any far past that. It's LYON actually shrinking things back down, but Morgan is about to make a little bit more progress. You can see he's waiting to hit the turret crust. He wants that turret to kill as many minions as possible, and then as soon as it kills the last one, he knocks it over.
Really good last 2 games so far for Lord Morgan. Has the massive Renekton game, and then here with the blind pick Jax in game 5 into what Dhokla decided to counter with, still being extremely effective.
And a lot of that has come from the fact that they have been putting him in side lane positions where he's just been able to either get turret plates or hold turrets, like we talked about, because Dhokla kind of TP'd into that fight where we were looking at potential tunnel Taliyah wall bug. Morgan was just topside taking plates, right? So now he has like 700 gold lead up, but still in a really good position and should be very difficult to deal with in these side lanes.
Rek'Sai tunnels in the top side. Crab control for Josedeodo. LYON
You're just waiting for a fight, I can tell.
I mean, I'm more kind of surprised that LYON as the team with the Taliyah wall, with the Bard ultimate, with all this terrain creation, it just seems like we're never really seeing any attempts from them.
Yeah, it's because they're just losing both side lanes, I think is a big part of it. And Inspired at least is strong for himself, stops the Herald, maybe if I hear.
Yeah, I like the use of the Tempered Fate as Morgan has to flash away. LYON trying to punish the Jax there who was waiting on the flank. So since the Bard ulti is around, the Herald can't even be used to force down the tier 1 turret. LYON hold the line.
Yeah, they do stop that turret from being taken. Nice job by them. I thought they might actually end up trying to collapse onto Morgan, but the rest of the team didn't really seem in position to follow up, despite the fact that he got caught out.
Well, LYON just doesn't have great lockdown either.
Yeah.
Like, if they don't land a perfect Bard ult into stun combo with maybe Taliyah flicking someone back, it's like they have slows, maybe Dhokla can slam someone into the wall, but it's tricky for them to actually hard engage, which is why this Sona Aphelios can just stay so pushed up in this mid lane. And you saw LYON has sent everyone mid a couple of times, and they haven't been able to get him out of here.
Yeah, you have a Trundle pillar and a seismic shove, and the enemy team has Annie and Sona.
Yeah.
The engage tools feel very different if that Bard ulti isn't around and isn't finding the mark. But it is 35 seconds until the next Drake spawns. Team Liquid still has control over the map with a 2,000 gold lead. And very importantly, Yeon's second item is completed and it's Infinity Edge. So the Aphelios is going to be pumping damage in the team fight. Jinx has 2 items as well, but it's Hex Optics and Phantom Dancer, so not as much damage as what you're seeing there for Yeon. Does have the BF sword in inventory working towards his own Infinity Edge, of course, but still a ways away.
We got Trundle ult for Inspired and Spirit Visage, so he's the strongest one on LYON right now. Looking to have a big fight if they can test this Drake. They're trying to get position in the river.
A little bit of a nervous ghost there from Yeon, I think. Saw himself get slowed down by the pillar. Evaded the chompers, popped the ghost just to make sure he was ready if LYON tried to send more after him, but the Aphelios still topped off on HP thanks to CoreJJ and his Sona.
Yeah, Core had to flash there away from Saint, so getting difficult for Team Liquid to hold the river here. Inspired and Saint looking for picks.
I like how you see Yeon get hit, lose a chunk of health, and then CoreJJ presses W, and he just instantly healed right back up to full.
Once he gets the Echo stacked with a few little bits of Q damage as well, it just gets that ridiculous. But I kind of feel like Team Liquid's leaving this Drake for another day.
All right. Now we got a problem.
No
CoreJJ without the flash, caught out. That's exactly what you want to see. Tempered Fate into the Flame Chompers as Dhokla knocks Morgan away from him, trying to stay alive as QUID makes the rotation up here into the top lane. Dhokla with the flash survives, getting himself out as Jose and Yeon dealing with LYON back over in the mid lane. And the Drake should go over to LYON and Inspired here.
Yeah, I was going to say, more crucially, LYON are able to even up the Drake stacking in a position where it looked like for a little bit there, TL were perfectly comfortable pushing out their side waves, having Yeon and Core on the mid wave. That pick onto Core ends up costing TL their Drake setup and the Drake.
And you saw how hard that was. They had to go mid, get Yeon's flash, go mid, get Yeon's ghost, get Core's flash later, then repeat to get CoreJJ down. Then they're gifted with the dragon. So it's still a very successful sequence for LYON, but you can see how hard they have to work to get the fights that they want.
Okay, Team Liquid, what's the call here now? This game is just so cautious from both sides. That tier 1 turret still standing, but once again becoming encrusted. One big auto attack. I mean, it's what it is. Crust.
The crust.
Yeah,
the crystal crust.
Yeah, crystal crust. That's some good alliteration right there. Yeah,
is that the actual name for it? I've just always called it the
overgrowth.
crust. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, crystalline. They wouldn't call it crust, actually, like in patch notes or something. But I like calling it crust because then you can call it a crust buster when somebody gets all the money from knocking it over.
I mean, Yeon's about to get the crust buster here.
Yeah.
Dangerous though with this Trundle.
One high caliber crust buster is all you need, and that turret's going to fall over. Yeon can't quite get in range though.
Yeah.
He only has red and blue guns. You don't have the extra range from the green gun right now, so can't get quite that distance.
Green gun's the crust collector.
Calibrum the crust collector.
Buster?
Because the Calibrum's the real name, so you get the CCC.
Wow. Okay.
That's kind of what this whole game is about.
We're breaking new ground here.
I know.
Yeon has 50 CS up on Berserker because Berserker literally just gets to catch the wave, and then also because they're defending this mid turret so hard, Taliyah's taking like half of his half of the waves as well. So Berserker's getting pretty starved in this game.
Saint's feeling good though. He's got a 1,500
He's
individual
trying to have extra CS.
You see, when you starve, I get very, very full. That's the Saint and Berserker relationship right now. As they will continue, though, clearing out this mid lane wave. The turret's still staying alive.
They want that. They want the crust.
Just paint the map white. It's Howling Abyss at this point, right? Like we're in the snowy world.
Eventually, Yeon will use his ammo.
Annie's top side. The TL are setting up their side waves.
Dhokla has
not a complete
has
ARAM.
5 people mid to save this crust.
And now Wave is crashing onto tier 2 bot that Dhokla does have to respond to.
Light is not giving this up.
No, they love this turret. This is the most important turret. To be fair, mid lane turret is important, right? Like once you knock the thing over, you do open up the map significantly. It's far easier to walk into the enemy jungle, try to set down some vision, control more of the map, make it difficult to approach the objectives. But there's more crust than turret now.
I know, he has the crust buster gun, the crust busting crescendum, but he didn't have the wave there. Now I think he's finally gonna...
He's gonna get it.
This is
gonna be it.
It's hard to hold it now. All right, Yeon. There it is, the Crust Buster, and they even try to punish him, and they can't do it. The Tempered Fate plus the Weaver's Wall both get sent, but Yeon is fast enough on his feet to sidestep it. So finally, after 27 minutes, the Tier 1 turret falls.
Yeah, but you see kind of Yeon being 2K now ahead of his lane opponent, although Berserker is just picking up his Infinity Edge, so he'll feel a lot more comfortable there. And another reminder about Jinx, once she does get 1 kill, she can kind of be an absolute menace to get more in team fights, so all she needs is kind of a turret take or a killer assist. However, you know, Yeon is in a really, really good spot from all of this mid lane pushing. And in the meantime, I think TL have actually done a pretty good job of forcing out their side waves to make LYON have to respond to them.
And I think one of the things that LYON is counting on is that the Trundle and Poppy are going to be a very strong front line, but with Yeon collecting so much gold and already having Infinity Edge, LDR, and nearing 100% crit, he's going to be shredding through them much more easily. I got to point out, though, not a big fan of his glute greaves. Gluttonous greaves.
Yeah,
because they've been changed.
Not a fan of the glutes.
I only call them glute boots now, and it's your fault, Jatt. Well, I guess it's Hysteric's fault, but it's also your fault.
Yeah, Hysterics said glutinous, and then I started calling them glute boots. But they're gluttonous
greaves.
Glute boots is so Australian, man.
But the biggest thing is you need to get 10 takedowns to stack them up. Yeon has 0, so he's half effectiveness on his glutes.
I mean, even if he was at 100% kill participation, he'd have 1. This is a 3-kill game at 28 minutes.
I'm never not going to call them glute boots. It's bad.
Okay,
and people are going to be like, what are you talking about?
Well, maybe now is when he can get his glute boots going, because we've... What the... Did Morgan just teleport 3 feet to a...
Maybe.
Yes.
Did Dhokla... Okay, hold on, never mind. Dhokla's going in immediately. They follow it up. The full engage goes, and QUID is already dead. LYON find their moment. Finally, after what feels like 10 quiet minutes straight, it's QUID who gets jumped on.
Yeah, that was huge and kind of a further proof of how dangerous this Poppy, like, Trundle combo can potentially be. With QUID walking up, he doesn't even get... I'm looking at it now in the... in the client,
Dhokla just wall stunned him, and so we did see Morgan teleport 4 feet in front of himself. Technically, he might have been going for the shield to hold the river.
Okay.
Because you can get the TP shield.
Right, yeah.
That's the only logical explanation. But then LYON just has a good trigger pull, and just like that, they're on soul point.
Yeah, and it's a Mountain Soul too, which is going to be really, really big for one of these hyper carries, right? Because it's just going to make it way more difficult. Here we go.
Okay, so Morgan teleports 3 feet for the shield.
Yep.
Dhokla also teleports 3 feet for the shield.
Matching.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he just stuns, he's going to stun QUID right there.
Credit to Dhokla.
Yeah.
He learned the meta.
Wow.
That's such a big reaction.
Yeah, that is huge.
I feel like that's the biggest reaction I've ever seen out of Reignover.
I mean,
it was for the Dhokla wall stun.
After 3 kills in nearly 30 minutes, and then you see your team just find that big moment to slam the Annie. Of course, they don't end up getting Baron off of it or making a huge tower push, but the Dragon Soul is the story of the play.
Yeah, being on soul point with this Mountain Soul is huge, as Bardal is once again going to go wide of CoreJJ. I think they're just trying to kind of set up vision around Baron, clear out
damage is so high
Lion
now
vision.
that a team can kill Baron very quickly. If Aphelios has the right guns, he kills it extremely fast. The Team Liquid also won't take much damage because they'll have Sona on it. And they still have, you know, kind of permanent mid-prio. Lion is really just buying as much time as possible, then looking for 1 kill before the Drake, and they have 3 minutes until they can try and play that play again.
There are 8 men in middle, 2 men in the jungle. Isles just forces Morgan back out. They'll clear the wards away. All right.
We'll clear out wards. We'll push up mid. We do have them pinging the top wave, so they do have to respond to that top side push. Again, I do think TL have done a pretty good job of making sure that their waves are pushing as often as possible in the sides, which does force Lion to respond to them.
You kind of start favoring Lion in this game, though, weirdly enough, just because Team Liquid's had this big advantage, big-ish advantage with the mid-prio this whole time and haven't been able to make much happen with it, right? Still literally just 1 kill. And the criticism for Team Liquid kind of the whole year is about their cohesion in close games and abilities to find team fights.
And also, just as the game goes forward, I feel like Rek'Sai is one of the characters that has one of the highest skewed power points for the early game, right? It's a character that can be hyper mobile early. You can make some outplays once you have your ulti. But considering she's really only effective against single targets most of the time, if we're just coming down to a big 5v5 type of game, I feel like it's much easier for Inspired on the Trundle to have a greater effect in the fight.
2,500 gold difference on 80 carries, which you'd think would be game deciding, but they're not like they can get super protected. So it's still 1 stun away from just getting 1 shot.
Yeon does have 100% crit now, though, as Inspired goes forward. Finds the pillar onto Yeon, who immediately fires back with a Moonlight Vigil. Tempered Fate only hit Josedeodo, so that doesn't really turn into a whole lot of anything. That was both of the semi-global ultimates from the Lion side for not a whole lot out of TL. They get Yeon's Ghost, but that's it.
They'll probably be back up before the next Drake, though, so that's a non-committal engage there by Lion in hopes of getting Summoner Spells. They were probably hoping to get a flash or 2, but now with those down, Team Liquid trying to play a little bit faster, maybe start up this Baron.
Yeah, like I said, you've got 100% crit on Yeon. The Aphelios absolutely shreds with damage, and he's got Crescendo. Inspired stepping up, though. They want to try to challenge for it, but Inspired's getting bursted very low. The Trundle's already almost dead, but Yeon's fallen! That is absolutely huge! Inspired staying alive now as well as Morgan is into the back line. Inspired flashes over the wall, but he cannot find the kill. Josedeodo getting that one as Morgan's gone golden in the middle of everybody, still trying to turn the fight back around. Josedeodo with a 2-man knockup, and Berserker re-enters the fight. Jose shot down. Berserker excited. Team Liquid on the run. It's Yeon and his jungler dead as Jose buys the Guardian Angel back in the fountain, traded away for Inspired.
That was insane. I can't. Where did Yeon go? 1 second he's there, the next second he's not. I was thinking that Inspired was nearly going to get 1 shot off of the anti-stun, but it's Yeon who ends up falling. So watching this one more time, Yeon trying to get the damage down. He gets stunned by the Bard Q into a flick stun. Woo!
Berserker in with the Poppy. And Berserker, even though he gets caught here, is able to get
Bard
out.
portal to Narnia.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would have, I don't think he wanted to take that. Another Bard stun. I think he could have killed CoreJJ if he doesn't fly so far away. But now, Mountain Soul is up, and it looks like Lion's just going to be able to get it since Jose's still dead.
Yeah, there's no way for Team Liquid to contest it when your jungler's back in the base.
And this is massive for Lion, although TL look like they're just going to try to burn down this Baron as quickly as possible.
Yeah, Berserker and Saint are still on their way up here. Inspired is around the area. The Baron, though, locked up in the Tempered Fate. Inspired is stepping in. He's just going to smite it away. Lion critically find both the Soul and the Baron back to back, and now it's a seismic shove to QUID. He dies to the Super Mega Death Rocket. Berserker is getting excited, and Yeon is forced all the way back out of the fight. Now Morgan's under pressure, stunned into the wall yet again by another Cosmic Binding. It's a double kill of a Berserker, and he's excited again. Yeon knocked up into the air with a point blank keeper's verdict. One more shot from Fishbones. Triple kill back over to Berserker. Isles means it's no Penta, but Jose's Guardian Angel will not do enough. He dies too, ace for nothing. That game, that series, That's LYON taking their win.
Berserker pops off at the end, and LYON defends the mid lane for 33 minutes and then wins the game in the next 3.
Holy moly!
What insane setup from the Poppy and the Bard to just kind of allow Berserker to free fire in these fights.
3 kills at 28 minutes, and the game ends 8 minutes later. LYON, in a battle that goes all 5 games, will triumph yet again over Team Liquid and move forward in the winner's bracket.
Inspire's pep talk was right? They just have to win game 5, you know? They go next.
That's all you gotta do.
They win, and crucially, they win through their superior team fighting. We saw this 5-game series back and forth. TL kind of trying to spread the map, play the map. LYON beating them in the 5v5 as we see them headed over to, I wonder who will be joining the lounge here.
I can't believe it. Boy, what just happened?
We just saw LYON win game 5 off some big plays, and we're gonna have the man Big Dokes is gonna be joining us over here off of some monster Poppy plays, including what I kind of saw as the game-winning pick.
Yeah, his flash charge onto QUID in the middle, and he had flash, had proto belt. He's up against the wall though. Dhokla sees the angle, goes in there with the flash, with the charge, gets a big pick, and then at the Baron too, is able to get. He gets Yeon. Oh my goodness. Actually crazy stuff here. Really, really fun series. Energetic the entire way through.
Yes.
One of the games we had our second most kills pre-15 minutes of all time. Bloodiest